Hello! Good day, everyone! Please let me introduce myself first. My name is Faizathus Afnia, and people often call me Iza. My serial number is 111, and I am from Global and Intercultural Communication, Class C. In this presentation, I will analyze a series titled Fresh Off the Boat, specifically one of the scenes from their first season. Fresh Off the Boat is an American sitcom television series created by Nang Nach Khan and produced by 20th Century Fox Television for ABC. Fresh Off the Boat is a sitcom that set in the 1990s. It follows a Chinese-American family adjusting to life in Orlando, Florida. The story highlights the cultural clashes between traditional Asian values and American norms, particularly through the eyes of young Eddie. This scene takes place at Eddie's friend's house. Eddie is visiting for sleepover, and suddenly his friend's mom came into their room. But Eddie's friend speaks to her casually and somewhat disrespectfully to his mom. This surprises Eddie, as it's very different from how he interacts with his mom. Eddie's reaction is mostly shown through his facial expression and his body language. When his friend talks casually to his mom, Eddie looks so surprised and uncomfortable. He freezes for a moment and his eyes widen, clearly showing how shocked he is. Eddie's friend said that he always talks like that to his mom and said it's totally fine for them. But for Eddie, who comes from a culture where respect parents is important, this feels really strange. This shows just how different their communication styles are. Eddie's cultural identity is deeply shaped by his upbringing in a traditional Chinese family. For Eddie, showing respect to his parents and elders is essential, and it affects the way he communicates. Talking like that would never be acceptable in his family. On the other hand, Eddie's friend, who comes from a more individualistic American culture, doesn't see the need for formality when talking to his parents. In his culture, speaking directly and casually is common and doesn't mean a lack of respect. Now, let's discuss about half-stage cultural dimension theory. This theory explains how different cultures perceive and accept power imbalances. In culture with high power distance, people had to show respect for authority. Meanwhile, cultures with low power distance often promote equality. We see how power distance plays a big role here. Eddie comes from a culture with a high power distance, where respect for elders is expected. Meanwhile, his friend comes from a more low power distance culture, where speaking casually to parents is more acceptable. The main issue in this scene is a cultural misunderstanding between Eddie and his friend. Eddie's friend speaks casually to his mom, which in American culture is acceptable. However, for Eddie, coming from Chinese cultural background, this feels inappropriate. This different communication style leading Eddie to experience culture shock. Eddie reacts by saying, "If I spoke to mom like that, she would kill me," showing the cultural difference. However, the issue is not addressed with his friend. This illustrates how intercultural miscommunication can remain unresolved and causing discomfort. To resolve this, Eddie should talk to his friend about cultural differences. He can explain that speaking casually to elders is disrespectful in Chinese culture, and by discussing this openly, they can prevent future miscommunication and ensure better mutual understanding. Another solution could be for Eddie's friend to learn more about Chinese culture values, especially the importance of respecting elders. This could be done through informal conversation, cultural sensitivity resources, which help avoid similar issues in the future. By addressing the cultural misunderstanding, Eddie's friend will understand better about Chinese cultural values, especially the importance of respecting elders. This not also prevent future miscommunication, but also strengthen their friendship, leading to a more respectful and harmonious interaction in the long term. If misunderstandings are not fixed, they could make the conflict worse. Also, not understanding each other might make people rely on stereotypes, which can be harmful. If the issue is not addressed, it can damage Eddie and his friend relationship. Looking at the communication problem between Eddie and his friend, the main issue arises from their cultural background and emphasizes respect for authority, while his American friend casually approached classes with that. This results in communication as the friend doesn't recognize the importance of respect elders in Eddie's culture. One of the key theories that explains this situation is Hofstede's power distance. In high power distance like Eddie's, respect for authority and elders is critical. Meanwhile, for his friend, this might view as a overreaction understanding. This cultural dimension is essential in avoiding similar issues. Now, relating this to my personal experience, I see myself as Eddie's friend. I don't feel a strong power distance in my family, so I can speak casually to my parents. But some of my friends find it disrespectful. Even to my mom doesn't mind at all. It's just the way we communicate in our family. Now, I've learned to adjust my communication style when interacting to my friends' parents, making sure to respect their values. I try to be mindful of their cultural norms. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on how we can communicate more effectively across culture and be more mindful of our differences.